Hello, I'm Tim Beggins, president of Elk Trading Company. In this week's natural gas recap, natural gas prices are down 11.5 cents to 3.83. Here we see the spot continuation chart on tradingview.com with the adaptive flow, trend flow indicator overlap showing that while prices are down today, they've been generally in an uptrend since September 24th for the algo traders. Let's take a look at the February contract, which expires on the 29th. Prices again showing down 11.2 cents at 383.3. As you can see, prices are still ending the week on the defensive. We are right here at the first pivot support at 384 with our secondary support at 376.40 with upside pivot at 395.10 and first resistance at 402, 404.20, please. So let's take a look at what's causing the problem. This is the temperature outlook that was issued yesterday. As you can see, for the 8 to 14-day temperature outlook, there's above normal temperatures in the west as well as the U.S. Gulf Coast, and especially down into the Gulf states of Louisiana and all the way over into Florida and in parts of South Carolina. This also combined with a low storage report on yesterday relative to expectations of 233 versus expectations about 245. So let's take a look at the weather outlook. As you can see, the ice cover across the Arctic continues to expand with Hudson Bay completely covered up. This will allow cold Arctic air to literally skate across that body of water and directly into the mid-Atlantic states if it's there. And look what we have on the snow and ice cover chart. The Hudson Bay is completely covered over, and ice is forming across the Great Lakes, especially Lake Erie. As you can see, there's snow across the south. We did have some here in Houston, and that's right, snow in Southtown, USA. So let's take a look at the March contract, which will be spot on the 30th. As you can see, prices are down 10.1 cents to 336.5. So there is a big roll gap here. And again, support here at 337.60 is first support. We're below that right now, with secondary support at 331.10. Our pivot today was 348.60. We're still well below that. So let's take a look at the weather. The Arctic air continues to pool from eastern Siberia across Russia and the Arctic down into Canada and into the Great Lakes and in parts of the mid-Atlantic states in Ohio and Tennessee valleys. This cold air continues to push, but rather eastward now, and we're watching very carefully to see if this starts to separate between Siberia and Canada as we start to see some of that cold air dissipate. Let's take a look at the United States. Looking at the U.S., we've got cold temperatures right now across the Great Lakes and into parts of the southeast, but we do get a reprieve here over the weekend with temperatures warming back up across the south in Texas, and we can see that continuing through Monday into Tuesday. We do see another shot of cold Arctic air trying to hit the upper parts of the Great Lakes and into New England. But then we look to see if this third pool of cold air the following week can actually start to drive south. Right now, it looks unable to do so, which is why future prices are down. Let's take a look at the Great Lakes. The ice cover continues. As you can see, the water temperatures across Lake Erie are quite cold. This is a shallower body of water, and it is starting to fill up with ice. Let's take a look at Europe. And today, that cold Arctic air that's been pooling across Canada and Greenland and pushing down further south has caused a European winter storm. This is Éowyn, which means young warrior in Gaelic, which is now hitting into Northern Ireland and will glance across Scotland later today. This is sending power prices lower as the wind output continues to expand. We do see another storm coming through in about 2 days, about Sunday and into Monday. As you can see, this cold Arctic air is clashing with the warmer temperatures further south and creating these windstorms. This will help wind output across the UK and parts of Germany. And let's take a look at Europe. The weather continues to remain fairly mild. Overall, this is more about production and wind output for anything here, but really cold Arctic air remains locked into Scandinavia and into parts of Russia. There is a little brief pause of cold air coming in on the second, potentially into the third, but that's just transitory. Let's take a look at Asia. Asia, this has got some colder air trying to make it down into the eastern provinces of China. As you can see, coming into about the 26th, 27th, and 28th, there is some cooler air south of Beijing in those eastern Chinese provinces. As you can see across the Koreas, it is quite cold in North Korea and parts of South Korea as that cold Arctic air dips south out of Mongolia. Japan, according to recent reports, has got some record snow. So if you're a skier, that's one place to take a look. Let's take a look at how stocks have performed for the oil and gas E&P sector. Overall, it's been a down week. Most of these particular companies that have taken a hit are some of the transporters. Unfortunately, this is, just been a down week. We've had to take a little bit of a pause. There's only a few that are positive, like Vista, and of course, Canadian Natural Resources bouncing off of some recent lows. If we take a look at the midstream companies, really what we're seeing is the tankers have taken a hit. And the reason for that, well, tariffs. We also see that potential slowdown in economic output for the globe. So most of these tanker companies are starting to take a bit of a hit. These might be some value plays in a few weeks if some of the proposed tariffs don't materialize. Again, let's take a look at that February contract. We are still down to 383.3, down 11.2 cents. So let's take a look at the March contract one more time before we go, and that is also down 9.6 cents to 337. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for listening. We'll see you soon.